We all want to feel like we're living a good life. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fundamental.
Absolutely. It's something everyone chases after in one way or another.
But when you really dig down, what does that actually mean? A good life.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And maybe more importantly, how do we actually get there towards that feeling of well-being, of fulfillment?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. Psychology actually offers some really useful ways to think about this.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got a couple of interesting sources to guide us.
We do.
First up, there's an article from Navbharat Times. It features a clinical psychiatrist, Namrata Upadhyay, talking about gratitude journals.
Very practical tool. And second,
We're looking at an excerpt from Agan Kosh. This one lays out some of the basics of positive psychology.
right, so our goal here really is to weave these together, pull out the key insights, the actionable stuff.
Yeah, so that you, listening, can get a clearer picture of what really makes up well-being.
And maybe find ways to cultivate a bit more of it in your own life.
Okay, let's start with something tangible. The gratitude journal. What exactly is it, according to the article?
Well, basically, it's described as a kind of thought diary. A place, whether it's, actually written down or just in your head, where you actively focus on being thankful. Thankful for things that bring happiness, maybe from nature, from other people, even just small everyday things.
So it doesn't have to be a physical book. It could just be a mental attitude.
Exactly. It can be a daily writing habit, sure, but it can also just be a conscious shift in how you look at things.
Okay, and the man benefit. The article says it's about shifting your focus, right?
Precisely. It's about deliberately moving your attention away from the negatives, the stuff that's bothering you.
Which our brains tend to focus on anyway, that negativity bias.
Right. And instead, consciously directing your attention towards the positive stuff, the things you appreciate. It's like retraining your brain.
And how does that work? What's the process?
The article suggests it starts with a bit of self-reflection, like acknowledging the things that are negative or difficult in your life. You don't ignore them.
Okay, so honesty first.
Yeah. But then the key step is consciously redirecting your focus, using gratitude as the tool to bring positive feelings to the forefront.
And doing that consistently, it can lead to some real emotional changes.
Apparently so. The article lists quite a few. Less stress, less anxiety, feeling less irritable or angry.
Wow.
Okay, and on the flip side, feeling calmer, happier, more confident, building better self-esteem.
And it helps you cope better when negative things do come up.
Yeah, improves those coping skills. Makes you more resilient.
That connects to something else mentioned, empathy. How does gratitude foster empathy?
Well, the thinking is, as your own coping skills improve, you're maybe less wrapped up in your own struggles. This can sort of free up mental space to understand and connect with what others are going through. It reduces that urge for, say, revenge or holding grudges, and just generally makes you calmer, more positive towards others.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like it improves relationships too, like helps you understand people better.
Definitely. It points towards more balanced relationships, better understanding all around. It's like a positive feedback loop.
So it's not just about feeling good yourself, it ripples outward.
Exactly. And the article has this really encouraging point about starting.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It basically says, don't wait. You don't need the perfect time or situation. Just start now.
Like today.
Yeah. Even just by making a point to genuinely say thank you to your family or the person who helps around the house. Simple stuff.
And if saying it out loud feels like too much at first,
Then start internally. Just take a quiet moment to feel thankful for something, anything. The feeling itself is the starting point.
I like that. It removes the barrier, makes it really accessible.
Right. And the potential payoff. The article suggests it can lead to more positivity overall, a broader outlook, seeing more possibilities in life.
Okay, that's a really strong case for the gratitude journal. Now, let's shift gears a bit and look at the bigger picture positive psychology itself, based on the Agan Kosh excerpt.
Right. So positive psychology as a specific field, it's relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah, but the ideas behind it, exploring human character, well-being, that's ancient.
Absolutely. The excerpt points this out. Religious texts, saints, philosophers throughout history, they've all talked about happiness, achieving human potential.
So it's like we're putting a modern scientific framework around some very old wisdom.
In a way, yes. And the excerpt also credits humanistic thinkers, like William James, Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow.
Ah, Maslow's hierarchy. I remember that. Self-actualization at the top.
Exactly. Their focus shifted things. Instead of just looking at mental illness, they started asking, what does optimal mental health look like? How do people reach their full potential?
So they really laid the groundwork for positive psychology.
They did. Which brings us to Martin Seligman, who's a major figure here.
Okay.
The excerpt explains his view. Positive psychology isn't just about feeling momentary joy. It moves beyond that.
To what?
Towards understanding and using our strengths and virtues, and ultimately finding lasting fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. It's a progression.
Okay, a deeper kind of happiness. His book, Authentic Happiness, is mentioned. It talks about 3 types of happy life.
Yes, 3 pathways. First, there's the pleasant life.
Pleasant life.
Right.
Sounds nice. What is it?
It's about enjoying those day-to-day positive feelings and sensations. Hobbies, good food, relaxing, spending time with people you like, savoring the good moments.
Okay, enjoying the simple pleasures. Makes sense. What's the second one?
The good life. This is about engagement, getting really absorbed in activities.
Like being in the zone.
Exactly. Experiencing flow, as it's often called. Time just disappears because you're so engrossed in something you enjoy, like reading a great book or working on a passion project.
I know that feeling. Okay, pleasant life, good life, and the third.
The meaningful life. This one goes beyond personal enjoyment or engagement.
How so?
It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself, using your strengths to contribute to others, to society, finding purpose.
So moving beyond just your own goals to like community well-being or making a difference.
Precisely. And that, according to Seligman, fosters a really deep sense of positive well-being.
Pleasant, good, meaningful. Got it. And Seligman also developed the PERMA model, right? The excerpt mentions that too.
Yes, PERMA. It's an acronym for 5 key elements of well-being.
Okay, let's break it down. P is for
positive emotion. And importantly, the text clarifies, this isn't just happiness.
Right, it's broader, like joy, gratitude, hope.
Love, kindness, interest, affection, even dignity and delight, a whole range of positive feelings.
In experiencing these, it does more than just feel good in the moment.
Much more. The excerpt explains that positive emotions build our resources. They help us become more resilient.
How? What kind of resources?
Physical resources like energy, psychological ones like coping skills, emotional stability, even social resources, strengthening our connections with others.
So feeling good actually helps us handle challenges better.
That's the idea. It builds resilience and can even help shift those automatic negative thought patterns we sometimes get stuck in.
Interesting. So cultivating positive emotions is key. That ties back to the gratitude journal, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one concrete way to nurture positive emotions like gratitude.
Okay, P is positive emotion. E is for
engagement. That's the good life idea we just talked about. Being absorbed, finding flow. Relationships, positive connections with other people, crucial. Meaning having that sense of purpose, belonging to something bigger. Accomplishments, setting and achieving goals, feeling a sense of competence and success.
PERMA, positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning accomplishments. A framework for flourishing.
Exactly. Now, there's another model mentioned in the Egen-Kash source, Carol Ref's 6-factor model.
Okay, another perspective on well-being. What's the foundation for this one?
It draws on Aristotle, actually. The idea that the goal isn't just feeling good, but living virtuously.
Living a life of meaning and purpose, essentially.
Right. And Reef identifies 6 key factors or dimensions that contribute to psychological well-being and happiness.
Let's hear them. What's the first?
Self-acceptance. Basically, having a positive attitude towards yourself, warts and all. Accepting your good and bad qualities, feeling okay about your past life.
Okay. Being comfortable in your own skin.
Second, personal growth. That feeling that you're still developing, learning, realizing your potential, being open to new things, expanding your horizons.
So, never stagnant. Always growing.
Third, purpose in life. Similar to the Seligman's meaning, really. Having goals, a sense of direction, knowing why you're doing what you're doing.
Essential. 4th factor.
Environmental mastery. This is about feeling competent in managing your life and your surroundings.
Like feeling you can handle things, make good use of opportunities.
Yeah, and being able to choose or create environments that suit your needs and values. Feeling capable in the world.
Got it. 5th.
Autonomy. Being independent, self-determining. Not just going along with a crowd.
So being able to resist social pressure, making decisions based on your own values.
Exactly. Regulating yourself from within.
And the final one, number 6.
Positive relations with others. Again, that theme of connection. Having warm, trusting relationships, caring about others, empathy, intimacy, understanding give and take.
It's interesting, like you said, how both PERMA and Riff's model really emphasize relationships and purpose.
They really do. They seem to be core components of well-being across different frameworks. Riff maybe breaks down some of the internal psychological states a bit more, like self-acceptance and autonomy.
Yeah, it provides a slightly different lens. The excerpt also briefly mentions Diner's model.
Right, the tripartite model of subjective well-being. That one focuses more on the balance of emotions, frequent positive feelings, infrequent negative ones.
And overall life satisfaction, like a cognitive judgment of your life.
Exactly, just another piece of the puzzle in understanding well-being.
Okay, so we have these theories, these models. How do we actually do this stuff? The excerpt talks about positive interventions.
Yes, these are practical activities based on positive psychology designed specifically to boost well-being. Intentional actions you can take.
Like the gratitude journal we started with. Any others? The gratitude letter is mentioned.
Yes, the gratitude letter. Writing a letter expressing deep thanks to someone who's made a difference in your life.
And the excerpt says delivering it in person is best, and reading it aloud.
Yeah, that seems to have the biggest positive impact, according to the research cited. Just thinking about why you're grateful is good, but actually giving the letter and sharing it, that really enhances the effect for both people involved.
That personal connection makes it powerful.
Definitely. And stepping back, the general benefits of gratitude practices are pretty significant.
Like what?
Well, the text summarizes it.
Uh-huh.
Better health, higher well-being overall, more positive emotions, less anxiety and depression.
That's huge.
Yeah, and it also notes grateful people tend to be more alert, energetic, decisive, enthusiastic, helpful.
Basically more engaged with life.
Right. More optimistic, leading more meaningful lives. And on the downside, less anxiety, depression, loneliness, even less materialism.
But there's a catch, isn't there? It's about consistency.
Crucial point. The excerpt really stresses this. Doing these things occasionally might give you a temporary boost, but for lasting change.
You need to make it a regular practice. Daily, if possible.
Exactly. Consistency is key for those long-term benefits.
Okay, so if someone's feeling a bit overwhelmed, maybe starting small but being consistent is the way to go.
Absolutely. Pick one thing and try to stick with it.
What are some other interventions mentioned, besides gratitude stuff?
Okay, one is savoring.
Savoring, like savoring food.
Sort of. It's about actively noticing, appreciating, and trying to enhance any positive experience. Slowing down, really paying attention with all your senses.
So not just letting good moments fly by unnoticed.
Right. Intentionally focusing on the pleasure, the good feelings, to make them last longer and feel richer. And doing this regularly is linked to more happiness, higher life satisfaction, and less depression.
Like consciously enjoying your morning coffee, like you said earlier.
Exactly like that.
Uh-huh.
Or really listening to a piece of music, or enjoying a walk in nature.
Okay, savoring. What else?
The 3 good things exercise. This one's pretty well known.
Right, writing down 3 things that went well each day.
Yes, and importantly, reflecting briefly on why they happened. What caused those good things?
And that simple exercise can boost happiness for months.
Up to 6 months, according to the research cited by Seligman. It trains your brain to scan for positives.
Then there are mindful walks, just walking and noticing positive things.
Pretty much, taking like a 20-minute walk, maybe daily, and consciously focusing on pleasant sights, sounds, smells. It's shown to improve happiness pretty quickly within a week and helps adopt that positive focus.
Simple, but effective. I like the next one. Positive self-talk.
Ah, yes. This is about tackling that inner critic.
Oh.
First, become aware of your negative self-talk. Then, actively challenge it. Replace each negative thought with a positive affirmation, something constructive and true.
And the sticky note idea. Put affirmations where you'll see them.
Yeah, as visual cues to reinforce the positive messages. A practical little trick.
That ties into cultivating optimism, right?
It does. Optimism being that tendency to focus on the good and believe in a positive future.
And there are exercises for that too, like writing about your best possible self.
Yes, spending 10-15 minutes writing about your ideal future, where things have gone well, or writing a life summary as if you've lived a long, happy, fulfilling life.
How does that help?
It helps you clarify what you want, what a good life looks like for you. It can motivate you to make changes now to align with that vision. And again, Studies link these practices to better well-being and even reduced illness.
Interesting. Motivational reading is also mentioned.
Yeah, just reading inspiring stories about other people overcoming challenges or achieving success, it can give you a boost of optimism and motivation.
Makes sense. And the last one sounds really powerful. Identifying and using your strength.
It really is. Strengths are those personal qualities that energize you, that make you feel authentic, that you're good at and enjoy using.
Things you're naturally drawn to that feel like the real you.
Exactly. And the key is not just knowing them, but actively using them every day, if possible.
And the benefits of using your strengths.
More resilience, more vitality, confidence, self-esteem, happiness, less stress. It also improves work performance, engagement, helps you reach goals.
How do you identify them? The excerpt mentions thinking about strengths in others.
Yeah, thinking about what you admire in friends or role models can give you clues about what you value and perhaps possess yourself. There are also online surveys.
Yeah.
But even just reflecting on times you felt energized and effective can help.
Okay, using strengths, that feels very empowering.
It is. It's about leaning into what's already good within you.
Wow, okay. This has been incredibly insightful. So if we pull it all together,
Go for it.
it seems like actively cultivating gratitude, maybe through journaling, understanding that a happy life involves pleasure, engagement, and meaning,
Yeah.
and then deliberately using these positive interventions like savoring the three good things, focusing on strengths. These can all make a real difference to our well-being.
Absolutely. It's about taking these ideas from psychology and making them active practices in our lives. It puts us back in the driver's seat to some extent.
Yeah, moving from just wanting a better life to actually taking steps towards it.
Precisely. These are tools, strategies we can use.
So, considering everything we've discussed, maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah.
What's one small, concrete step you can take today, right now even, something intentional to nurture a more positive outlook or find a greater sense of fulfillment in your own life?
Good question.
Maybe think about which idea resonated most: gratitude, savoring, strengths, meaning, and what's just one tiny action you could try based on that, something to mull over.